Hey everybody, this is Jose here. We are about to start. It's around 25 seconds to go. Let's use this time for a sound check. Please go ahead and write anything nice on the chat box just to say hello, something like that. That would tell me that you hear my voice and we are ready to start. So please sound check. Give me some confirmation, please. Thank you very much. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dirk. Very nice. Cool. Perfect. Okay, let's maximize our introduction slide so we can launch the session officially. Very, very nice. We have Bojan with us as well. How are you, Bojan? Great to have you join us in the short-term sessions. Geneva, very nice to see you as well. Very good. So we are ready to start. Let's begin. 25 of October 2019, that's today. Today we are getting together for short-term trading, meaning that we're going to be looking at intraday opportunities in the market. We'll be using Forex and futures for that. We'll be playing with different time frames depending on liquidity and depending if we're dealing with markets that are centralized or not centralized, such as Forex. And we'll be just running our process, looking for those opportunities, and if they are valid, then we'll execute them. That's simple. Before we start, as always, quick disclaimer, I'll do it quick. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Traditive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through a demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our products. And that takes care of the introduction. So we are ready to start. And of course, here is TradeStation. We got an alert a few minutes ago with crude oil, okay, crude oil, but I would say this alert is not valid anymore because you can see that we are now 1.38 years away from the average. So it seems that in this very early stage in the day, first of all, we got nothing golden color on this column, meaning that there is no fresh, what I mean by fresh is ready to be taken opportunity with the futures markets, okay? So we don't have any of those. So the next thing I do when I have a situation like that is look at the 8-year spread column to see if any of those values is close to 0.5. And the reason why I'm looking at 0.5 is because when I look at the settings of auto climate, the way I have it myself, and of course, we can certainly have different settings, but the way I have it is I have my alert being 0.5. In other words, whenever a market is about to be 0.5, like the NASDAQ right now is 0.59. So if the NASDAQ was to come a little closer to the average, okay, we're going to have a golden color flashing here, which is going to be an alert. Here we go. It just happened. Okay, so we have it there. So a nice little demonstration of the alert. Okay, and unfortunately, I'm not interested in this one. Well, actually, yes, we can do it. We got 7 candles into the climate. This climate is supposed to be, actually, no, we're not. This climate is supposed to be 2, let's call it 3 candles. Half of 3 is 1.5. So that would be a total of 4.5. And we already got 7 candles into this particular climate. So which means that the NASDAQ is being somehow stretched and probably a change of climate is going to happen soon, so it would be too late to enter this trade. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, it's this is obviously a little bit of a random thing because markets keep changing every day, every minute. But normally you always have at least 1 or 2 golden colors. Okay, today it seems that we are starting the session with no golden colors on the future side, but of course, that's why we use different assets to never miss opportunities or to never lack opportunities, I should say. And we do have golden colors in Forex, both with a 60-minute time frame as well as 240 minutes for the majors and also 240 minutes for the minors here on the right. Okay, so we're gonna be moving back and forth between futures and Forex, adapting to what the market gives us. And whenever an opportunity meets the rules, as always, you know, we'll plan the trade and we'll execute it. It's that simple. Okay, so let's begin with Forex. Okay, we just got a little bit of a flashing light. Let me see what this is. Crude oil. Interesting. Crude oil, it's 0.9, but it seems that it went to check. It went very close to the average. So it's like there is a lot of volatility on crude oil at this moment in time. So let's take a look. I'll open crude oil. Also, always, especially when dealing with those energy markets, always double check that you're using the right expiration date. And I know if you're trading futures every single day, you may not need to be doing what I'm doing, okay? But again, to keep everybody safe in the group, okay, it doesn't hurt you to come to this page, click on energies, click on crude oil, and double check what the letter is, which the letter is Z, okay? Z or Z in American English, okay? So take a look. Always good to also double check the volumes that we have in the table that is loading here, that is taking a little bit of time, okay? And we can confirm that yes, it's true. Z is the one that produces the best, the highest volume values. So is where the greatest liquidity will be found, okay? And notice that the contract I still have from the prior day that we got together was the X, okay? So it's important, I mean, actually it's critical that you look at this in a regular basis. So you can now switch to the Z contract, okay? And therefore be charting and trading the contracts which are the most relevant for the trades, okay? So what do we have with crude oil? So we are approaching the average. The average is currently located at 56.04, 56.04. It's actually lining up nicely with this bottom UFO at 0.5. This bottom one here is located at 0.1. And this bottom one here is located at 0.1. So we're gonna plan 0.1 for the entry. Stop would be 9, actually stop would be 10. So stop would be 11, okay? So we're gonna have a trade here with crude oil where we're gonna be shorting crude oil. And again, 0.1 will be the entry and 11 the target. So we're having 10 tick risk on this trade. Very quick looking at the target because it seems that crude oil is moving fast. I don't want to miss the trade. So when looking at the target should be located at 55.80. That should be the target, okay, on this trade with crude oil. And we are actually meeting entry. I really need to move quick here to execute this trade properly. Here we go, 56.01, average 0.2. Bottom part is 0.5. Okay, let's go for it. So I'm just gonna enter short market with two contracts. What I'll do very quick is move my stop to be 11. That's where I wanted the stop to be, correct? So that's gonna put my safety target one to be 55.95, and 55.80 will be my final target, okay? And I understand this is a little bit of a quick execution here, okay? But sometimes you have to rush a little bit, okay? Of course, not improvising. You don't want to improvise, but sometimes we do have to act quickly, okay? So we have the trade. The UFO is here. We can see our stop is in the white space above, okay? We have entered a little below that UFO, as you can see. I got filled at 0.3. I was willing to enter at 0.1, so I got 0.3, so it's a little better. The bad news is that the UFOs I got on the right side are gone, meaning that those holders got filled. So, I mean, I still have one UFO to rely on, so that's why I took the trade. But I would be very, very comfortable. I would really like to see red forming in the reactive timeframes, okay? And unless we have that, we may be looking at a potential change of climate here with a market that seems to be very volatile. With a price action that recently has been a little strange, if you wish, with so many unconfirmed climates here in a row, okay? So really, I would really like to see some red show up here. And if it doesn't, it's okay. We got the stop in the right place, okay? So the trade is on. Not sure if you guys were able to replicate what I did at the speed at which I did it, okay? I'm not fully sure if that was the case or not. But hopefully you did. If not, this market is still giving you the opportunity to enter. Certainly, I would, at this time, since the UFOs in the middle and the right are gone, I would certainly wait for red to show up in the reactive time frame, okay? So that way you will have a little bit more odds on your end compared to mine, okay? One more thing I would like to point out as well, and I just lost my chain of thoughts here, guys. I was thinking, I want to say something. Okay, we just got a little bit of red forming, so that's a good news. Okay, let's see if we'll have continuation to the downside. We just need a few more ticks to get to the safety target, and then this will allow us to take other trades in parallel. So I would really like to get to that point. Yes, Bojan, you just read my mind. You just read my mind, exactly. So time in the trade is the one thing I was thinking of. So we got into this candle, we got the second candle, now we're in candle number 3. Okay, so we got less than 2 minutes of time. Okay, if you look at the clock, okay, so we got a little less than 2 minutes at 9:12. Okay, if we haven't reached our safety target at 9:12, I will be closing this trade for whatever profit I have at the moment, or a break-even trade, whatever is possible. Okay, that's because I am using the time stop rule. Okay, some of you have made comments over emails to us and have been experimenting with using or not using a time stop, or instead of 3 candles using 5 candles. And you guys had a collection of different type of results in changing the rules for the time stop, as is normal. When the moment you change the rules of a methodology, you change the results, okay? And you probably learn or realize that everything got pros and cons in life, okay? And one of the reasons why I am using a pretty aggressive time stop with 3 candles is because in this group, we are a mix of traders where some of you have limited experience and you are in learning stages, and therefore I want to make sure everybody's on the safe side without triggering emotions out of, oh, you know, if I had got out, this would not have happened, or maybe a little bit of frustration or anger or things like that, and therefore the time stop does a very good job at managing that. Okay, but again, for more experienced traders, you may have experienced with the time stops in different ways, and you may have developed other preferences, which, as long they are in the form of a rule, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so guys, it's not looking like, I mean, you never know, but it's not looking like in 10 seconds we're gonna get to our safety target. Okay, so therefore I am now getting ready to get out of this trade. So I'm out of this trade now. Okay, in and out. Basically, we made $20 here, so it's nothing. So we entered and exited more or less at the same price, or maybe 1 tick difference, something like that. And this trade really didn't produce any potential benefit. Okay, but it's okay. It's all about applying the rules. We did what we were supposed to do. The fact that this market didn't move efficiently towards our safety target means that there may be a change of climate coming in. And if that's the case, certainly we're gonna be happy to be out. Okay, so back to here. Yeah, we still have on the future side, we still have crude oil being the only market that is giving us an alert, and all the other ones are not producing alert at the moment. Okay, so we'll take a look at what happened here. Okay, we'll take a look at what happened here. Dirk, I guess you are out of as well, or attempting to get out of the trade. Again, you happen to be an experienced trader, so maybe your time stop rules are different. So, but again, I am out. Okay. So next one. So we have a minute and 45 seconds more or less to get to an update on the climates. Okay, so while we are looking at the climates to be updated in less than 2 minutes, I would like to begin looking at Forex opportunities. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the 60-minute time frame first. Notice here we got a gray box. So gray box means not confirmed, so we'll ignore this one. And then here we got sensible, and we got sensible, and we got sensible. Okay, so we got 3 opportunities with the majors, with the Kiwi, with the US dollar CAD, and also with the Swiss franc. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick look using the 60-minute time frame combined with the 8-minute time frame, and let's begin looking at the majors. Okay, where we're going to be looking at the Kiwi first. So Kiwi giving us an opportunity to short. We got 6 candles out of 5, so it's okay. Unfortunately, we have no red UFO, so the Kiwi is no good. The next one we were going to look at was the Swiss franc, and the other one was the CAD. Okay, so the Swiss franc and the CAD. So CAD would also be a shorting opportunity. First first candle into the climate, average 130.65, 130.65, overlapping that UFO nicely. Okay, so the CAD is potentially giving us an opportunity, and then the Swiss franc, that was a long, right? So we got a close above, not confirmed climate. Okay, not confirmed climate here with the trading view data feed, which in this case I'm using the FXCM data feed, which is a little different compared to the one available in TradeStation. Okay, so that's why we got this difference. So I'll come back to the Swiss franc, but it's looking like, at least with the CAD, we can give it a try to plan a trade, and I will do that after we got our next update with the futures. Okay, because we just got that 15 minutes. Okay, so 16 seconds ago, we got an update, and what do we have? So the euro is pointing at an opportunity, but that one is hopeful. 11 candles out of 3, so it's certainly hopeful. Too late, no need to check the chart. And crude oil, actually, nice one that we got out, because crude oil, even though it's not confirmed, seems to be changing climate. Okay, so, and it's flashing as well, but it's not confirmed, so we will ignore it. Okay, so for now, crude oil and the euro not to be taken. The crude oil because the climate is not confirmed, and the euro because it's hopeful. Okay, so we're not gonna take those trades as of now. So we will keep working on the Forex trade. So I am back to US dollar CAD to see if in the end we do have a valid opportunity. Okay, Bojan, you managed to get out at break even. Yeah, very good, very nice, guys, very nice. Again, love it. I mean, you know the word I'm about to use, isn't it? Teamwork. I love the teamwork. I love when we are putting the effort all together. It's the way to do it, guys. Okay, it's fantastic. So anyway, so we have a potential opportunity to short Canadian dollar. We need to set the target. That would be the next step. We're gonna use the next common time frame. It's gonna be 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours. Activating AutoUFOs, looking for a green UFO, and it seems that we have for the US dollar CAD. We have a potential target to be located at 130.51, as you can see on the screen. Okay, and this, to be honest, is not looking too good, because even though we are not there yet and there is room for the Canadian dollar to fall more, the fact is that 130.51, I am under the impression that is quite close to the current price. Okay, and the current price is 62. So basically, the target is like 10 pips below, and the difference between entry and stop is going to be more than 10 pips, right? From 67 to 76, and then you add the extra additional space for the stop. So you know what? It's not going to work well, because we're going to end up having a safety target which is beyond the final target. Okay, so the problem is that our green UFO is just too close. And of course, we cannot ignore that. We need to be respectful of the market information, especially when it's given to us via AutoUFOs, because that information is very relevant. It refers to the on-field orders in the market. Okay, so we cannot negate that piece of information and turn the back on it and just plan a target to be in a further location just because we like it better. We should never do that, isn't it? So anyway, so we cannot take this trade with the CAD, and therefore we are back to our red screen to continue observing opportunities. So quick look on the left to see if there is any changes in the futures markets, and there are no changes. It's all the same. So back to be focusing on the middle part. We still got, the euro just showed up as a sensible opportunity now. Okay, so we have a sensible opportunity. Actually, I was confused with the euro futures. Okay, so the euro future is still hopeful. But the Euro spot Forex with a 60-minute time frame, it's sensible with 2 candles out of 4 in a down climate that is confirmed. And also the Swiss franc, we already talked about the Swiss franc. Okay, so let's take a look at the euro. Okay, I'm not surprised. The euro and the Swiss franc often are doing the exact opposite thing. Okay, so I'm not really shocked about the fact that the Swiss franc was looking for a long and the euro is looking for a short. Okay, but certainly I seem to appreciate better the setup on the euro. We got 2 candles into the climate. The climate is supposed to be 6. Average 111.07. and 111.07, it's nicely falling into these two UFOs, okay, that as you can see are overlapping each other, and therefore we have to group. So from 06 to 15, that would be our trading zone with sell on-field orders in it. Okay, so looking very nice. Okay, looking very nice for a nice entry short. The key question now is where are we going to have the target, and the target will be set on the next common time frame. So activating AutoUFOs. Okay, and here's the magic question. Here's the real question: do we have room for a nice profit? Okay, and I would say probably yes, because the next green UFO in the case of the euro is located all the way at 110.59, which again, because it's a buy orders, 59 will become 61. Remember, we add 2 pips to buy orders when dealing with non-centralized markets such as Forex. So instead of 59, it's going to be 61. So again, just making sure I'm doing the math correctly. Let's go ahead and write it on the screen to see if we do have an opportunity. Okay, so let's begin from top to bottom. So the stop will be located at 111.15. Okay, that's the top part of the UFO, but because it's a buy order, we had 2, so that's 17, and because it's a stop, we had 5, so that would be 22. Okay, and this is because it's a non-centralized product, it's spot Forex. The short entry will be located at 111.06, okay, and the same distance would be projected to the bottom part, and that would set our safety target. So from 06 to 22, so we got 16 pips below, isn't it? So that would bring our stop to be let me do the math correctly, 110.90. Okay, 110.90, that would be the location for the safety target, and therefore the final target would then be located all the way below, which is what we said, 110.61. And therefore it's true, this trade is valid. This trade does provide a safety target that happens to be prior to the final target, and therefore it's a valid setup for us to execute. Okay, so I'll give you a few more seconds for a screenshot. Okay, a few more seconds for a screenshot. And from there, we will go ahead and go back to the red screen, look for more opportunities. Hopefully something is forming in the futures market so we can place an order prior to the market open, which is 8 minutes from now. I know you're reading my mind. You heard me say that a million times before, isn't it? I love to have those trades filled right before the market opens. Okay, so we can benefit from the initial push as the market opens, which is not always the case, but very, very often, yes. Anyway, so this is the trade with the euro. So trade number 1 is ready. Let's go take a look at the futures market. So what do we have? Well, not much. And the S&P is about to give us an alert with 0.53. But we are in hopeful territory with 8 candles out of 3. So that's hopeful territory. Okay, I would love to see the S&P turn up and give us a blue climate instead of a red climate. What else do we have? Everything else is quite far from the average, apart from crude oil and the euro. Okay, so basically we don't have anything tradable at the moment. We do have 6 minutes and a half to wait for the next update on the climate. This may allow us to have a confirmed climate on crude oil. Okay, let me see what's happening with crude oil. Yeah, so we may have a confirmed climate on crude oil. Not yet, but that may be the case 6 minutes and a half from now. Okay, and I forgot to go back to 15 minutes here. Okay, got it. Good. Okay, so let's continue. You guys have been silent for a little bit, which again makes sense because I haven't executed much in the last minutes. We did plan to trade on the euro, but that's it. So I understand, no comments on the chat box, but just for me to be in sync with you guys, please go ahead and give me a confirmation that it's all good on your side. Okay, technical problem on your end, Bojan, I get you. Okay, get you, no problem. So, well, comment, okay? What do we do when we have technical problems, okay? So we relax, okay? We relax, we breathe, we don't get stressed out. If we miss a trade because the computer got hung, it's okay. We'll have many more trades to execute later in the day, okay? So let's keep that very peaceful philosophy running at all times. Ricky, I see you're here with us today. Nice to see you, my friend. I owe you a couple of emails, maybe even 3. Okay, so I am catching up on that. Okay, so please bear with me, and I'll be returning those emails with answers to your questions, and we'll be looking for a solution. Okay, so no worries, Ricky. We'll be working on that. Okay. Yes, we drink coffee. That's a good one too. Very good, Bojan. So anyway, let's continue. What else we have? So nothing new here. Okay, so time to move into the 240-minute setups. Okay. Australian dollar, it's gonna be the first one that we're gonna be dealing with. Euro yen as well, confirmed climate, and CAD is hopeful, while US dollar Swiss franc is not confirmed and euro is not confirmed. Okay, so we're gonna be looking at the Aussie and the yen on the 4-hour time frame. We're gonna spend a few minutes doing that, which is gonna be the time needed for the market to open. Okay, so Australian dollar, still working with the majors. Australian dollar, what do we have? Looking like an opportunity for a short. Okay, confirmed climate. Average is 68.28. 68.28, certainly it's a good one, lining up with that UFO. I'm okay with that. Overlapping with the next one, so that brings you into from 28 to 44. 44 overlapping with 48, because when you add the 5 pips for the stop, certainly now those are overlapping too, and now your stop would need to be all the way at 57. So that makes that UFO to be a really fat UFO. Okay, and again, it's what it is. Okay, it's what it is, and certainly you are likely to see the Australian dollar, US dollar turn somewhere in that region of price and go down. Because they are on-field orders, okay? They are identified for us thanks to technology, so thank you, technology. The problem is that, in our way on how we approach trading, we use safety targets. And the reason for safety targets is to remove the risk of the trade quickly, to allow you to take other trades in parallel. And the problem is that if you have a fat UFO for an entry, your safety target is going to be far away, and therefore it's going to take a long time to get to the safety target, if any, and then you cannot take trades in parallel, and you have less probability of removing the risk. So, long story short, I'm going to check on the yen, see if the yen provides something better, and if I was to be left with no trades at all, well, I may consider taking a trade with the Aussie, but if I have better trades, then I will execute better trades, okay? So with the yen, we got a similar setup, 2 candles into the climate, as you can see below. Average is 108.59, 108.59 lining up very nicely with 60. Well, that's what I'm talking about, okay? 60 to 65, only one nice UFO located in a nice place, okay? That's what we need. That's a perfect entry, okay? Now, of course, it doesn't mean we have a trade. We still need to look at the target, okay? And make sure the target is far enough to produce a trade that makes sense. Of course, since our risk is going to be around 10, 12 pips, as long as we have a target which is a little further than that, we should be okay. So I'm going to look at the 4-hour time frame, move to the next common time frame, which is 1 day. Okay. From there, I'm going to look at where is the, I just clicked in the wrong place. Sorry for that, guys. Daily time frame. Okay. And we're going to activate AutoUFOs, okay, and see where is the next target, okay? And, well, it's looking amazing, okay? It's those situations in trading where it's like, okay, there is no UFO. So the infinite is the limit, right? And it's like you're going to have the trade of your life. Let's be realistic, okay? When you have a situation like that, it's nice because not having buy on field orders generates a potential opportunity where a lot of room for the price to drop is available. But also, when the moment price begins dropping, those large market players will start taking profits, adding buy orders in the market, and therefore the market is not likely to fall until the infinite. Okay, so we always need to keep ourselves realistic. Okay, so in order to keep myself realistic, first I would say it will be okay to take this trade and trail stop. Okay, instead of using a final target, will be trailing stop. Okay, in the other hand as well, I would also like to look at the 4-hour time frame to see if there is a UFO, and there is one here at 108.02. So you know what, in order for me, because our job as a trader is to collect reasonable profits. Okay, we don't need to have the trade of the year every time we trade, because the trade of the year happens once a year. So if you always shoot for the trade of the year, you only trade once a year, right? So we want to trade in a regular basis to collect profits from the market in a regular basis. So anything reasonable, I'll take it. And I guess you're with me that given the current price of the US dollar yen, which is 100 pips higher than this target, so I think that taking profits at 108.02, where we're gonna be risking like 10, 12 pips, that's gonna make a trade to be like 8-1 or something like that. You know what, it's reasonable enough, let's take it. Okay, so 108.03, that would be your target. We are 2, so that would make it 108.05. That would be the final target. Okay, but anyway, I want to come back to this in a minute. The US market just opened, so maybe we have new opportunities that are flashing for us. And yes, we do. We have an opportunity with the yen, with a 3-candle in a 3-candle climate. Okay, so maybe the yen is an opportunity. The S&P flashed as well, but it's hopeful. Okay, so we ignore that. Crude oil is still not confirmed. Okay, even though we had another 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm just gonna close this workspace. Okay, we don't need it at the moment. Okay, we don't need it at the moment. So close the workspace, and the one we're gonna open is the Japanese yen, which is, by the way, the Japanese yen, because of less liquidity, we are using a common time frame of 60 instead of a common time frame of 15. Okay, so going back to that, and I see a few comments there, Ricky, Prag Hakara. So I'm coming back to you guys in just a second. Again, since the market just opened, I want to have a quick look to the yen, see if there is an opportunity. If there is, I'll plan it, and then I'll go back to Forex and your comments, questions as well. Okay, so no worries, I'm coming back to you guys in just a second. Okay, so with the yen, I'm not gonna check on the expiration because it's every 3 months, and we know it's the Z. So what do we have? Current value for the average with a confirmed climate of 3 candles. Current value for the average is 92.34.8. So 92.34.8, okay, is kind of overlapping with this UFO. Okay, kind of overlapping with this UFO. So it's borderline, okay, because the top of this UFO, as you can see, is 34. The average is 34.8. But true is that if the yen, which is currently 36.5, keeps falling, and enters the UFO, at this moment in time, the average instead of 8 may be 34.0, okay? And therefore lines up with the top part of the UFO. So it's something, to be honest, to watch, okay? And it's difficult with the futures, with the currency futures, with FX futures. It's sometimes difficult because of 5 decimal places. So you know you have to do a little bit more manual watching, and you may end up having to cancel trades at times, okay? But you know, for now, I would say it's looking like this could be a valid UFO based on its position. So we're gonna go for it. The bottom part is 32. Okay, so my only concern here is that really it's a very, 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 very narrow type of UFO. So, and this, by the way, happens very often with Forex, Forex futures, or also spot Forex if you trade low time frames. And by the way, Ricky, this has a lot to do with some of your emails, which we'll talk about it. And therefore, a little bit of a more conservative approach when your UFOs are so narrow, because this is a 1 pip UFO, right? So when your UFOs are so narrow, a more conservative approach would be to look at the reactive timeframes, wait for a green UFO to form, and then utilize a merging of the UFOs that form in the reactive timeframe together with the edge timeframe, treat it as one. Okay, so typically what would happen is that price comes in here and kind of begins bouncing, and when that happens, now you see green on the reactive timeframe. Okay, so basically you have a micro UFO forming on the reactive time frame that you don't see on the edge time frame, it is here. So now your entry price becomes a little higher, which puts your stop still below here, and now you have a little bit more wiggle room for the price to move your way. And if that's not going to happen, typically price will go straight without giving you the green UFO on the reactive time frame, and you avoid a loss. Because again, when those UFOs are so narrow, of course, like this is pure stats, what I'm about to say. The vertical distance from entry to stop is less, and therefore, just based on pure stats, you are a little more likely to be stopped out. Of course, you have the UFO. You cannot, we cannot underestimate the fact that the UFO is there. It's giving you odds, but also when they are so narrow, it may be only a small pile of orders. Okay, so anyway, so long story short, let's look for a target using the 240-minute time frame on the yen. So enable auto UFO. So yen futures target. Wow, very nice move here. Okay, so 93. Okay, here we go. 93. Oh, this is our opportunity with gold. 93.16. That would be the target. Okay, so we are talking about like 80 pip move. In futures, we should say it 80 ticks, kind of the same thing. So that looks very nice to me. Okay, but again, remember we are dealing with intraday trades, so we may not get there. We may not get there in one day. Okay, so let's plan the trade with the yen. Okay, so again, I'm gonna go for the entry, which is 92.34. Actually, it's a 2 pip UFO. Not 1 pip. So 34 is the entry. So I'm just gonna click buy. 31 will be our stop. Okay, so very narrow risk. So 37 would be the safety target. Okay, and then the final target is gonna be 93.16, which again, it's nice to have the target so far away, but given the fact that we are dealing with an intraday move, I would say it's gonna be very, very difficult, almost impossible to get there in one day. So probably you end up trailing stop and exit somewhere in the middle, and certainly make sure you get out before the market closes for 1 hour. Okay, because futures do close for 1 hour, spot Forex don't, but futures do. Okay, so this is where we're at. Just to have a little bit better view, I'm gonna zoom in on this. Okay, so we get to see what's going on, and we also see it on the matrix. Of course, we are 2 ticks away from entry. Okay, so the trade is ready. Okay, now we got a flash. Again, I'll give you just a few more seconds, guys, so you can take note of the values. Okay, so entry 34, stop 31, safety target 37, final target 93.16. Okay, even though again that is a very optimistic target, probably not gonna be the case. Okay, good. So while this is happening, we got an alert with gold flashing on our screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at gold. Gold. Oh, wait a minute. Gold is hopeful. So 12 candle out of 5, it's hopeful. So thank you very much for the alert, but we will pass. Okay, so for now, we have the yen running. Okay, and we will reach 9:45 a.m. New York time in 7 minutes. Okay, so we'll see if something new arises 7 minutes from now. In the meantime, the trade is set, and we're gonna go back to Forex. Remember, we were planning a trade on the yen as well, funnily enough. That was a trade to short the yen, isn't it? With a target at being at 108.05, and I would like to complete this trade. Okay, again, 108.05 would be the target. Okay, so I am disabling AutoUFOs, going back to the normal setup, and I want to read your comments because you guys had some comments about it. Okay, so we begin with Ricky. It is okay to take a trade in between the 15 minutes if the climate is confirmed, or should we always wait for the 15-minute update? Yes, so the moment the climate is confirmed, so when you got a thick dot, that dot will last for whatever duration your common time frame is. So if your common time frame is 4 hours, that dot will not change during 4 hours. If your common time frame is 15 minutes, then that dot will remain like that during 15 minutes. So anytime during that 15-minute period, you are allowed to execute trades as long as you have a valid entry. Okay. Okay. So anyway, 108.59 we're about to enter. Okay. So let me write the parameters of the trade. So we are going to have a stop loss located at 108.66. We had 2 because it's a buy order, so that's 68, and then we had 5 because it's a stop, so that's 73. So we are going to have a short entry located at 108.60, which is basically now. Safety target located, so we are dealing with 13 pips of risk. Okay, so it's gonna be 108.47. okay, 13 pips of risk, and then we have our final target, okay, located at 108.05. okay, so this is the trade with the US dollar Japanese yen, which seems to be valid, meeting our rules. Okay, so everything is in place for the trade to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, cool. Okay, 5 more seconds and we're gonna go back to futures to see what's going on with our trade. Yeah, Irwin, for the stop we use 5 pips. Okay, but then when it's a buy order, even if it's not a stop, every time it's a buy order we add 2, because with Forex you charge the bid, but when you buy you purchase from the ask, which is higher. Okay, so we are adding 2 just to be safe. So 2 plus 5 is 7, because that stop loss at 108.73, it's a buy stop. Because it's a buy stop, buy adds 2, stop adds 5. So we add 7 to 66, and that makes it 73. Okay, cool. Okay, back to futures. What do we have? Nothing going on. Nothing going on. So the yen is doing the same thing. Climates. Anything new? Nothing new. Nothing new. Still 4 minutes to go. Okay, got it. Perfect. Okay, so a few more comments I got here. Let me see. Prahakara, I was a US dollar yen, red UFO is overlapping with 21 time frame. Will you consider it as well? Yeah, that's let me see. Good one. Good one. I missed that one. Actually, we got 69. Okay, if you take 66 and you add 5 and 2, it's 73. And this is in the middle of this. Okay, so you are right. I just made a little human error here. We should be using 75 as the reference price. Very, very nice. You know, that's when I'm so happy we are doing teamwork, because we make each other better, isn't it? So 108.76, that would be the location for the stop. So we add 2 because it's a buy order, that's 78. And then we add 5, okay? We add 5 because it's a stop, so that's gonna make it 83, okay? So 83. So short entry, okay? It's gonna be, as we said, 108.6. That's making the safety target to not to be 13 pips below, but it's gonna be 23 pips below. So it's 108.37. And the final target remains located at 108.05. Okay, so good one, very, very good one. Thanks for that. Very good. Yes, very good. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. Perfect. Love it. Love it, love it. So I believe that all the questions are answered now, and therefore let's go ahead and return to futures to see what we got. So we are approaching a little more our entry here, so hopefully we'll get there. We got less than 1 minute, okay, for an update. We got 50 seconds to go for an update. So look, I'm just gonna wait. Okay, I'm just gonna wait. We just got filled. Okay, so we are filled on the yen. Okay, now let's see the UFO power here pushing price higher. Again, as I said, in cases where your UFOs are very narrow, which is very common in currencies, it's a good idea to consider waiting for green to show up here on the reactive timeframes, which at this moment in time hasn't happened yet. Okay, so again, this sometimes will make you miss the trade. We talked about this before in the sharpening sessions. That's the downside of using the reactive time frame. But also the beauty of using the reactive time frame is that you will avoid a few losses given the fact that you got a little more evidence when entering the trades. Okay, we got an update. Okay, so crude oil is now flashing. Okay, so let's see, since this trade is running now, so let's see what's going on with crude oil. Well, crude oil is flashing, but it's still non-confirmed. Okay, and in the futures markets, well, what a slow day, isn't it? In the futures markets, nothing else is flashing but gold now, which is again still hopeful. So we're gonna pass on that, and nothing else at the moment. It's reporting anything interesting. Definitely the S&P and the equities have been pushing hard to the upside, but they are not doing any type of a clear retracement back into a reasonable price for us to enter, and therefore we need to wait for the alert to show up before we get into it. Okay, so we have the trade with the yen. This is what we have running as we speak. So time to continue working on those forex trades. Bojan, you're in, fantastic. Lisa, you're in, very nice. Dirk, you're in, fantastic as well. Love it, love it. You are filled on the US dollar yen as well, Dirk. So you are short the yen spot forex and you are long the yen futures. Okay, way to go. Fantastic way to hedge yourself and to utilize different asset classes. Okay, so this is great, isn't it? By the way, for the ones of you that are not in the trades, make sure that you are welcome to join. Okay, and again, I understand that some of you may be thinking, oh, wait a minute, but I'm still learning. Okay, you will learn faster probably if you were to take those trades with paper money. Okay, so execute those trades with paper money. Okay, open the door to some practice. Okay, don't only observe when you join the get together sessions. Okay, I always talk about teamwork because of that reason. Of course, if you execute with real money, okay, so then you may get real profits. Okay, you will also get real losses. Okay, so you have to decide that, and also your size. Okay, also the size of your trades. But for sure, okay, practice makes perfect. Okay, so I am counting on you on that. Okay, so. When is the 1 hour closing for the Japanese futures? Irwin, it's going to be from 5 to 6 p.m. New York time. And careful, we have a change of time zone if you are in Asia over the weekend. Okay, so not change of time zone. We got the how do you call it? The saving, oh my God, I forgot how to say it. Well, you get my point. The light saving change that happened in certain countries is happening this weekend, and therefore it will have a little difference there being in Asia if you are in Asia, okay? So keep that in mind, but in normal cases, it's 5 to 6 p.m. New York time, okay? So anyway, link hogs, okay? By the way, beautiful trade that we got last week with the link hogs, isn't it? I believe that I think, Dirk, you were in this trade. I'm not sure if someone else was in the trade too. It was a nice one. Okay, it was a nice one. Twee, Field, love it. Daylight savings. You saved me, Lisa. Thank you so much. I don't know. I got all mixed up in my mind. So Link Hogs gave us a little flash a second ago. Oh, wait a minute. We're not going to look. It's a hopeful trade. 12 candles out of 4. So Link Hogs have been dropping for too long. It seems that the S&P is going back to 0.9, so hopefully we're getting a little bit of retracement. So hopefully we can plan a trade with the equities before the session is over, okay? In the meantime, we're having a little bit of a fight here for the yen to begin moving higher. So we'll let it be. Okay, so more Forex. Let's look at the cross pairs. Nothing new on the majors, so the cross pairs, okay? So non-confirm, non-confirm, non-confirm. The Canadian dollar yen and the Euro New Zealand are good and they are sensible. And then the Euro pound is hopeful, okay? So we got two opportunities, okay? CAD, yen, Euro, New Zealand. those are two opportunities for us to examine and exploit using the 4-hour common time frame. So let's begin with the CAD yen. Okay, so CAD yen, what do we have? Auto climate, loading. 5 candles out of 6. So we are okay. Current value for the average 83.08. Problem, no UFO at that price, no UFO at that price. So no opportunity with the CAD yen. What about the Euro New Zealand dollar, Euro Kiwi? So what do we have with the Euro Kiwi? Euro Kiwi, careful. Still opportunity, but careful. 9 candles out of 7. Okay? Remember, it's okay to go with 9 out of 7 because you take 7, you add 50% of 7, which is 3.5, and that's 10.5. So we are allowed all the way to the next candle to get into the trade. Okay, and so we're still okay for, let's call it 7 hours. We still got 3 hours on this candle plus 4 hours. That would take care of your 10 candle. Okay, so we're still okay for 7 hours to plan a trade and execute a trade. So current average for that market 174.21. 174.21. Let me tell you, it's that green UFO. Okay, let me confirm that with putting my pointer right there. 28, so 22 is somewhere in between, overlapping with the next one. So yes, we do have a valid entry with the Euro Kiwi to enter using those 2 UFOs like it's one. On the range time frame, we got nothing. Okay, so in this case, it's gonna be all about the 21-minute time frame. Okay, so we have a potential opportunity. Of course, it all depends on the target as well. Okay, so I'm about to plan the target, but I want to check on the yen trade, see what's going on. Because we also have a potential time stop rule to follow. Now, with the time stop rule, of course, because we're using the 60-minute time frame, the time stop rule has to do with 3 times 8, okay, which is 24. Okay, so we are still on the first candle. Okay, so we need a second candle, we need another candle. Okay, and hopefully we'll reach safety target. Okay, in that time. But if we were not to reach safety target, like we did earlier with crude oil, you would need to close the trade. Okay, so I wanted to give you that indication, which, you know, should be clear, but at the same time, now it's even clearer because I just said. And by the way, a new candle just started, okay? So we are now in candle number 2. So we got 16 minutes to go to apply the time stop rule, okay? 16 minutes to go to apply the time stop rule. To be honest, it's not looking good, okay? We got red coming in. We got more red coming in. So many on-field orders have been added in the marketplace. Unfortunately, they are sell orders. Okay, so that it's not looking too promising. And it's kind of what I said before. Okay, and again, we still have the climate in our favor. Okay, guys. So this trade may work. Okay, so don't break the rules and close the trade now if you are in the trade. But basically, what I'm saying is that the only thing in our favor now is the climate. Okay, and therefore the probability of the trade has diminished compared to what the trade was before. And again, why is that? Well, it could be for a collection of reasons, and to be honest, I don't know the answer because that would mean, you know, I have a magic tool. But one of the possible reasons is the fact that that UFO was very narrow, only 2 pips. Okay, so we'll talk about it. Okay, and by the way, I want to point at the sharpening session that we'll do over this weekend because we'll talk about things like that. And also, we're going to have a new version of the flowchart for the weekend. So I want to make sure that you guys are connected either over the weekend or record it. It would be better that you do it live. So if you have questions, you can get answers real time. But we're going to be talking a little bit about a couple of additional rules that I would like to add to the methodology we are currently running out of reading for a few months now, comments and questions and things that are happening to you guys. And realizations I had as your coach of things that may have been a little confusing, and I want to add a little clarity and stuff to help you better, okay? So make sure you don't miss the sharpening session this weekend, okay? Anyway, so back to the Euro Kiwi, okay? We need to plan this trade before we go. So we have a potential opportunity for a long. We need to set our target. To set the target, we're gonna look at the next common time frame. So we go from 4-hour to daily. Okay. Activate AutoUFO And let's find out where is the next red UFO. And it's looking really, really nice in the sense that this UFO happens to be located quite far at 1.7707. That would be the location for that UFO. Okay, so certainly given the entry that we have and given the location of that final target, let me tell you, this is going to be a valid trade. So be ready to make a note and be ready to place an order in the system if you choose to take this trade. So let me write it down so it's clear. We'll start from top to bottom as always. So final target, we just said it, 1.7707. Okay, that's a sell order, so we don't need to add 2. That's not a stop, so we don't need to add 5. Okay, below that we're gonna have the safety target, which I need to calculate in a minute. First, to be able to calculate the safety target, I first need to define the long entry and the stop. So the long entry is gonna be 174.28. Okay, that was the number we saw before, and because it's a buy order, we're gonna add 2, so it's gonna be 30. The stop loss is gonna be below. Okay, and as you can see, the bottom green UFO is 1.7407, but because it's a stop, we need to add 5 pips of room, which in this case add means subtract. From 07 we're gonna drop to 02, which is 5. Okay, so from 02 to 30 we got 28 pips, and this is where the safety target is gonna be, which is 174.58, which is 28 pips above 30. So enter at 30, out at 02 in case you're wrong, out half of it out at 58 in case you're right. You have no more risk, and now let it go all the way to the target. If it goes there, congratulations. If it doesn't, somewhere in the middle, hopefully you collected some profit by trailing stop. Okay, that's the plan, that's the trade. Screenshot time before we go back to the futures markets and our red screen to review what's going on out there and see if we can plan one more trade, one last trade, and take advantage of it. Okay. Little feedback from your end, guys. I would guess that probably it's all good, but again, I love your confirmation that you guys are following the session, that no one is lost, and you are okay with the plan, okay with the pace, okay with everything. Okay, so the yen trade is doing its thing. Still a little bit underwater, still no green showing up in the reactive time frames. Again, climate in our favor. That's what we got in our favor at this point. So really not much has changed with the yen trade. Climates, do we have anything new in the futures markets? 0.75, but it's hopeful. 0.76 and it's hopeful. Equities pushing hard. So we certainly had a nice move on the equities, which we didn't see because we never had an alert. It's what it is, okay? So please take it the way it is, okay? Missing a trade now doesn't mean you miss a trade, okay? Just apply the same methodology I've been applying 30 minutes from now, 1 hour from now, 2 hours from now, and you'll be able to get your trade, okay? So we never want to rush, we never want to chase the market, we never want to feel bad. When you see a chart and you see the market has moved a lot and you're not on board, it's okay. It's not like the market will give you one trade only. The market will give you many trades. So keeping your head cool, it's our job, okay? So guys, in the futures markets, I don't think there'll be anything else I can plan in the remaining time for the session. So basically the yen trade is what we have. In the Forex markets, so one more time, the Aussie, we checked that already. The pound Swiss franc, that one is new. Pound Swiss franc, that one is new. Okay, and we also have an opportunity with the Aussie Kiwi and also with the CAD Swiss franc. Okay, so those are new. I will not have time to plan them because it's basically time to conclude the session. But let's take a look super quick So at least I can give you some guidance on it. So we said Aussie, New Zealand. So Aussie, New Zealand, do we have anything? Do we have anything? Climate is good. Average 0707. So 0707. Certainly we got that UFO here. Okay, so yes, you could be planning a trade using this UFO with the Aussie, New Zealand. So this is going to be your homework. Okay. Of course, I didn't check the target, so may be good, may not be good. So do the process, please. But it's looking like you may have a trade with the Aussie Kiwi. Crude oil giving us an opportunity. Okay, crude oil giving us an opportunity. So let's go ahead and take a look at crude oil. We look at crude oil. By the way, candle number 3 for the time stop. Okay, so when this candle concludes, this candle will conclude at 9:08. 9:08 Chicago time, which is 10:08 in New York. So you got 8 minutes for the time stop. Okay. Still no green in the reactive time frame. So guys, let me take a quick look at crude oil in case I could plan another trade for you guys. I would love that. Thank you so much, Frolian. That's very nice of you. That's very nice of you, and welcome to the group. Welcome to the group, my friend. So, confirm climate, right? Average 5605. UFO, I mean, 05 is all the way up here, so that one is not good, but this one is good. Okay, this one is good. So, my friends, we have a trade with crude oil. Let me plan the target. You see, this is trading, guys. There is a moment in time where it looked like, oh, I got no trade. Next thing you know, 5 minutes of time pass, and next thing you know, now we're gonna have multiple trades and we have to rush. Okay, this is trading. Okay, so we always need to be ready for that. Okay, so 55.80, same target as before. Of course, nothing has changed because crude oil never went down, so those unfilled orders were never filled. So we do have an entry. I mean, 05, if crude oil goes up to 05, really it's going to be on the top of this UFO. Okay, so instead of using 05, I would like to use the bottom part of this one. Actually, is 05. So I'll use 05, but you all know, guys, that I'm relying on this UFO. I am not relying on this one. I am not relying on this one, okay? Because of the situation. Okay, now, of course, because those two are overlapping, and I don't want to miss the trade, and that one is also overlapping, okay? So I'm gonna use the lowest price point for entry, which in this case is 56.00, and in this case is 56.00. Okay, so 56.00 is the entry, 11 will be the stop. It's funny because we have the stop in the same location as before. So 56 is the entry, 11 is the stop. Okay, so 89 is gonna be the safety target and 80 is the final target. Okay, so this is the trade with crude oil, guys, and that one you'll have to execute yourself, okay, because the session should be over already since a few minutes ago, so I just leave it there. But that's the trade. Okay, that's the trade. And by the way, if I had a little bit quicker to plan the trade, the high of this candle was actually 56.00. Okay, so with the first in first out method in futures, probably we will not get a fill, but it's a nice to see that there was a very strong reaction to this price. Okay, so there may be significant unfilled orders at this price point. So this trade may be a good one. Okay, so I mean, it's certainly a good one in the sense that it missed the rules. Okay, that's the best thing. So anyway, Japanese yen. What else do we have? Still there. Come on, yen. Define yourself. No green yet. No green yet. Okay, well, you may notice that sometimes I talk to the markets. Okay, I talk to the markets like their name is the name of a friend. Anyway, the yen coming back up. The crude oil coming back up. Okay, getting closer to the entry. We are five ticks away. So let's see if we get to our entry so we get the feel. Okay, the yen now is moving. Oh, I guess I had to talk to the yen. We're now 2 ticks to reach safety target. So let's see if we get there, even though, you know, we may end up meeting the time rule, the time stop rule, and we may have to exit this trade. You know, we are like 3.5 minutes from that. Okay, so anyway, guys, I think that you have the instructions on how to run those trades, so we're gonna leave the session here. Okay, crude oil about to give us an entry. The yen 2 ticks from safety target. So yeah, so that's where we are. Let me see last comments. Yes, Bojan, got it. Correlations, isn't it? You're out with the yen with 2 ticks gain. You know what? It makes a lot of sense there. At the speed at which this market has been moving, I mean, we could certainly reach the safety target. We are 2 ticks away, but really, I would not be surprised that, you know, in just like 2.5 minutes, we will reach the time stop rule and we need to get out. Okay, so we'll see what happened there. Anyway, everybody, Ricky, you're right. Have a good weekend, everybody. I will see you in the sharpening session. Okay. Keep up the good work. I'm loving what you guys are doing. And oh, here we go. Now we got some green show up, so that's a good news. So keep up the good work. And if you need anything, send us emails, and also take advantage of the sharpening session over the weekend, because you can ask questions live as well, and it's probably the best environment for me to give you answers live as well. Okay, guys. So anyway, see you then. Bye bye, my friends, and again, pleasure. Bye bye. Take care.